The bench.my name is Amelia. Many years ago, I was 14 when it happened that I lived in a small town with my low-income family. My dad was a stern man who worked hard and said little. He always told me, "Respect your elders. They've lived longer and know more." I obeyed him because he was my father, and I trusted him. I assumed older folks were always decent and always smart. I never questioned it. I just followed the rule and accepted what I was told. It was summer, and the sun was scorching. The sky was clear and the streets were calm. I headed to the little shop near my house to pick up bread and milk. On the way, I spotted an elderly man sitting by the roadside. His clothes were grimy and he looked exhausted and starving. People hurried past him. They didn't glance at him or pause to talk. I slowed my pace and studied him carefully. I wanted to say something, but I wasn't sure what. So I smiled at him as I passed. He looked up and returned a faint smile. His eyes were aged but gentle. Then he spoke in a quiet voice and asked, "Do you have any water?" I opened my bag and handed him my bottle of water. He drank slowly, and then looked at me again and said, "Thank you." He started talking more. He said he used to be a teacher long ago. He had a job and a home and lots of students. But something went wrong. He lost his job. He lost his home. Now he had nothing and he lived on the street. I listened to him without interrupting. I felt upset and shocked. I wanted to hear more. So I sat down beside him on the curb. He gazed at the sky for a moment and then said, "You're kind. But remember this, not all old people are kind." I didn't get what he meant. I asked, "What do you mean?" He said, "Some folks are old, but they're not good. Age doesn't make someone kind. You have to watch how they behave, not how old they are." I walked home slowly, turning his words over in my mind. My dad always said, "Respect your elders." But the old man said, "Not all are good." I felt mixed up and a bit down. I had always trusted my dad, but now I wasn't so sure. I wanted to figure out the truth. I wanted to discuss it with someone. That night, I sat with my dad in the kitchen. I told him about the man on the street. I told him the man had once been a teacher and now he lived outdoors. I told him what the man said about respect. My dad listened to me without a word. He looked at me, but he didn't reply right away. He waited until I finished my story. After a brief pause, my dad finally spoke. He said, "It's true. Some older people aren't kind. Age doesn't always mean wisdom." I was stunned by his response. I thought he'd be mad or argue, but he stayed calm. He said, "Respect is good, but trust has to be earned. Watch how people act, not just how old they are." That night, I couldn't sleep well. I kept thinking about the old man and what he told me. I thought about my dad's words too. For the first time, I didn't follow a rule just because I was told to. I started to observe with my own eyes. I started to ask questions, and from that day I began to view the world differently. The next morning I woke up early. The sky was still dim, and the streets were quiet. I sat by the window with a cup of tea in my hand. I looked outside and thought about the man again. His face lingered in my mind. I thought about his words and how composed he was. He had nothing, but he spoke like a teacher. I wondered how he lost everything. Later that day, I returned to the same street. I wanted to see him again and ask more questions. Maybe I could bring him some food, too. But when I got there, he was gone. The spot was empty. Only a few people passed by. I searched around for a while. Then I sat on the bench where he had been. I waited and hoped he'd return. As I sat there, I watched people hurry past me. Some looked rushed, and some looked worn out. Nobody glanced at me or spoke to me. I began to understand how that man might feel every day. I felt lonely even in the middle of town. Time dragged on. The breeze was gentle. I sat quietly thinking about many things. After a long while, I saw a young boy walking nearby. He carried a small bag and looked around. Then he sat down on the ground not far from me. He opened his bag and pulled out a sandwich. He looked at me and smiled. I smiled back and said hello. He said, "Are you waiting for someone?" I said, "Yes, but I'm not sure if he'll show up." The boy told me he came to this spot every day. He said he liked to watch people. He said people were always in a hurry and never noticed him. I asked if he'd ever seen the old man who sat there before. He nodded and said yes. He was here yesterday. He talked to me too. He said nice things. I felt glad to hear that. The old man was kind to others, not just me. The boy and I sat together for a while. We didn't talk much. We just sat in silence and watched people go by. It felt peaceful. I thought about how simple kindness could feel huge. I thought about how people pass each other without really seeing. But when one person stops, something shifts. That day, I was the one who stopped. When I got home that evening, I told my mom about the boy and the old man. She listened to me and smiled. She said, "Kindness is never small. Even if people forget your name, they remember your heart." Her words moved me. I looked at her and felt warm inside. I was glad I stopped that day. I was glad I listened. The next few days, I walked down that street again and again. I hoped to see the old man. I packed an extra sandwich in my bag just in case. But every day the spot was empty. The bench was still there, and the street was still busy. But the old man never returned. I started to feel a little down. I missed him even though we met only once. It was odd how someone could stick in your mind like that. One day as I passed the bench again, I noticed something small underneath it. I bent down and picked it up. It was a notebook. The cover was worn and brown. The pages inside were filled with handwriting. Some words were tough to read. Some pages were ripped. But I could tell it was his handwriting. I sat on the bench and started reading. My heart raced as I turned each page. The notebook was packed with thoughts, stories, and memories. He wrote about his students and how he loved teaching. He wrote about his little house and his garden. He wrote about losing his job and having nowhere to go. He wrote about people passing him like he wasn't there. But he also wrote about hope. He believed kindness still existed in the world. That part made me cry. I took the notebook home and showed it to my dad. He read some pages quietly. Then he looked at me and said, "This is a man with a good heart." I nodded. We sat in silence for a moment. My dad said, "We have to do something." I asked, "Like what?" He said, "Let's help others like him. Let's stop walking past people." I felt proud of my dad. He got it. That week, my dad and I started something small. We made sandwiches and filled bottles with water. We put them in a basket and walked around town. We handed food to people living on the street. Some smiled, some were shy, some said nothing, but their eyes spoke volumes. I felt warm inside every time someone took the food. It felt right. People in our town started to notice. Some asked what we were doing. When we explained, a few folks joined us. They brought food and clothes. They gave their time. Soon we had a small group helping people together. It all began because of one old man. A man with nothing gave us something huge. He gave us a new way to see the world. I never forgot that point. One evening while walking, I ran into the young boy again. He was sitting near the same spot with his little bag. He saw me and waved. I sat down next to him. He said, "You still come here?" I smiled and said, "Yes. I think about that man a lot." The boy nodded and said he was special. We sat there again in silence. It was peaceful just like before. The boy took something from his bag. It was a small drawing of the old man. "I made this," he said. "I don't want to forget him." I looked at the picture and felt tears in my eyes. The face was simple, but the eyes were the same, kind and deep. I thanked him for the drawing. I told him I would keep it safe. He smiled and nodded. Then he walked away. That night, I placed the drawing in the notebook on my desk. I lit a small candle and looked at them. I thought about how one small meeting changed so many things. I thought about the words. Not all old people are kind, and kindness lives. Both were true. I began to understand something more. The truth was not simple. It had many parts. Some people grow old but not wise. Some people lose everything but stay kind. Some people pass us in silence. Some people stop and speak. And some, even if they stay only one day, leave something in our hearts forever. That was the kind of man he was, and I was lucky to meet him. Even if it was only once, he changed my life. The next month, my life felt different. I still went to school and did my homework. I still helped my mother clean and cook. But something inside me had changed. I was not the same girl as before. I saw people in a new way. I looked at their faces and eyes. I listened more. I felt more. Every person had a story and I wanted to hear them. I was not afraid of the truth anymore. One day at school, our teacher gave us a new task. We had to write about someone who changed our lives. Many students wrote about family or friends. I wrote about the old man. I told his story in simple words. I wrote about the bench, the notebook, and the things he taught me. When I read it out loud, the class was silent. Some students looked surprised, some smiled. I saw a few eyes shine with tears. After class, my teacher called me to her desk. She looked at me kindly and said, "That was a strong story." I said, "Thank you, but I felt shy." She said, "You learned something deep and you shared it well." I walked out of the classroom with a full heart. It was the first time I felt that my voice mattered. I wanted to keep telling stories that touched people's hearts. At home, my father asked me about my day. I told him about the writing task and my teacher's words. He smiled and said, "Words have power, but only when they are honest." I remembered how the old man's words were simple, but they stayed with me. That was the kind of voice I wanted to have. Simple, honest, and kind. I didn't want to speak to be heard. I wanted to speak to help. Soon I began writing in a notebook of my own. I wrote down little things I saw each day. I wrote about people, smiles, and acts of kindness. Sometimes I wrote about my thoughts and questions. Writing helped me understand the world better. It also helped me understand myself. When I looked at my words on the page, I saw who I was becoming. One weekend, my father and I joined a group that helped people in need. We visited shelters and small houses. We gave food, listened to stories, and shared time. I met many people like the old man, people with sad pasts, but kind hearts. One woman told me, "When someone listens to you, it feels like home." That stayed with me. Listening was also a gift. I also learned that helping others did not mean fixing everything. It just meant being there. Sometimes people didn't need food or clothes. They just needed someone to sit with them, someone to say, "I see you." I remembered how I felt on that bench next to the boy, silent but not alone. That feeling was strong and I wanted to give that feeling to others. My friends at school saw what I was doing. Some were curious. They asked me why I cared so much. I told them the story of the old man. I told them how one day changed everything. Some listened, some didn't. But one friend said, "Can I help too?" I smiled and said, "Yes." Slowly, more joined. We were just kids, but we were learning something important. Kindness grows when you share it. I often walked past the bench again. I always looked at it and smiled. It was just a bench to others, but to me, it was the start of something big. It was the place where I learned a truth I never forgot. Respect is not about age. It is about action. Kindness is not about words. It is about heart, and one day can change your whole life if you are open to it. Years passed and I grew older. Life moved on, but the bench stayed in my heart. I still walked by it whenever I visited my old neighborhood. The bench always looked the same, quiet and simple. The snow would cover it in winter, and it remained a place of peace, even though many years had passed. It still reminded me of the important lesson I had learned that day. One cold winter day, I saw a young girl sitting on the bench. She was reading a book and smiling to herself. I stopped for a moment and watched her. The girl looked so peaceful, just like I had felt years before. I didn't speak to her. I just smiled and continued walking. The bench, in its simple way, was still working its quiet magic. As time passed, I became a teacher. I started telling my students stories just like my old teacher had done. Sometimes I told them the story of the old man on the bench. I explained how small acts of kindness can change everything. The students listened carefully, and some of them even asked questions. It felt good to share that story and pass on the lesson I had learned many years ago. One day after I shared the story, a student came up to me. "That story is really special," she said. "I want to do something kind too." Her words made me smile. It was amazing to see how much the story had touched her. I realized that the lesson was still alive in the hearts of others and it would continue to spread from one person to the next. We decided to start a kindness project at school. We made cards with positive messages like, "You matter," and "You are important." We also collected warm clothes for people who needed them. It felt so good to give back to others. The kindness spread quickly and soon more students joined us. Even some of the teachers noticed and started participating. It was incredible to see how small acts of kindness could create such a big change. One day, a teacher asked if we could create a kindness wall at school. We wrote our positive messages on colorful cards and put them on the wall for everyone to see. It was amazing to watch people stop and read the messages. They were reminded to be kind, to treat each other with respect every day. As the years went by, I never forgot about the bench. Whenever I visited my old neighborhood, I would always walk by it. The bench was still there, standing quietly, waiting for the next person to sit. It continued to teach people who came to rest. It always made me smile to think that the simple bench was still doing its quiet work even after so many years. One afternoon, I saw another girl sitting on the bench. She looked content and peaceful, reading a book just like I had done years before. I stopped for a moment watching her smile to herself. I didn't say anything, but I knew that the bench was still teaching people. It was still working its quiet magic just like it had done for me. Now, as a teacher, I continued to share the story of the bench with my students. I showed them the pictures the boy had given me all those years ago. I tell them about the old man and the lessons I learned from him. I tell them how small acts of kindness can change the world. I always end the story the same way. Kindness doesn't depend on age. It depends on what's in your heart and what you do for others. The bench taught me many important lessons. It taught me that age doesn't decide respect. It taught me that kindness has the power to change lives. And it taught me that one small lesson can be passed on to many people for many years and make the world a better place.